Are you stuck in silver, hovering between Emerald 2 and 3? Or maybe you can't even get past Copper 5? Damn. Well, in this video, I'll be going over every single rank, talking about the most common mistakes that players make and how you can avoid them. I'll even be throwing in a bonus tip at the end of every rank that'll speed up the process and help you rank up in no time. Starting with...
What is this?
Stop playing Ella.
No.
Copper. You know that it takes talent to be this bad, right? Are you sure your mother loves you? I wouldn't. The most common and important mistake I see coppers make is staying on site. Why is it the most important one? Well, I'll tell you in a second, but the first thing you need to understand is that as a copper, you're really at the bottom of the barrel. Am I saying this out of pure hate for coppers? Yeah, a little? No. I'm saying that so you can understand your skill set. Attacks, horrible. Droning? Cheeks. Aim, non-existent. You have no feel of the game, you don't check your corners, and I bet you don't even know what the word recoil means. But you know what hurts me the most? It's not the fact that I've made plenty of videos explaining how to fix these issues, it's the fact that you refuse to get out of your comfort zone and actually work on it, and that you're ruining the game for everyone else. And don't you dare say that's not true. I watch your games every single Thursday on Spectating Nightmares, and it's the exact same problem every single time. So what you need to do to improve is leave the bomb site and stick to holding angles or hiding in corners. This will give you the element of surprise, and because nobody knows how to drone properly in this rank, you'll rack up a ton of kills and help your team win rounds. What's the bonus tip? One word. Practice. Go to the shooting range, pick guns you're maybe not as good with, practice your tracking, your recoil control, your flicks, and everything in between. Your aim alone can take you pretty far in this game, even if you suck at everything else. And that's pretty much all you need to get to bronze. Actually, speaking of bronze, this is probably a good time to talk about one of, if not the messiest rank that a player can be. This is both good and bad. Mostly bad. Let me explain. Bronze players tend to be kind of okay at one very specific thing, but then when it comes to everything else, they're straight ass. I see this all the time on Spectating Nightmares, but you know what I don't see? People using that to their advantage, and that's what you need to start doing. Let me give you an example. Shield mains. You can easily counter them with C4s and impacts, and if that doesn't work, you can just find a corner to hide in. Shield players tend to be very sloppy and don't check their corners, so use this to your advantage. If they do see you though, just melee their shield to the side and light them up. There's actually one more very important thing I want to talk about, but we'll get back to that in a minute. For now, let's talk about rush heavy and aggressive players that have good aim. Again, just stick to corners and be patient. The problem being, a lot of you tend to choose the wrong corners, which ends up with you hiding on the opposite side of the map, achieving literally nothing while your team is getting slaughtered on the bomb site. You are the reason we can't have peace in the world. So check the cameras early in the round to see where they're actually attacking from, and then pick a spot that's relevant. But what if you come up against good bronze players that actually use their utility and play really well? Those are actually the easiest players to kill. Why? Did you forget who we're talking about here? Bronze players are only good at one thing. So the same player that is good with their utility is still garbage at everything else. All you have to do is take out their gadgets and traps. Once their gadgets are wiped off the board, winning your gunfights is a piece of cake, because if they're good with utility, they probably have garbage aim. But you remember that one thing I wanted to tell you about that was very important? Well, it's actually the bonus tip, which is using the environment to your advantage. Do you have any idea how hard it is to kill you when your entire body is covered and all we can see is your head? Use that to your advantage, take cover, and hide as much of your body as possible. Not only is it harder for us to kill you, but it's easier for you to kill us. And by the way, the same rules apply to your utility. But you know what it doesn't apply to? Silver players. These are players that are actually good. Their aim is better, their skill set is higher, they have good recoil control, so what's the problem? Why are you still stuck in silver? Well, it all has to do with you. You might have the skill set, but you choose not to use it. Why? Because you're not decisive. You're not aiming, you're not holding angles, you're leaving yourself vulnerable, you're not taking risks, and I get it. You spent weeks, maybe months getting to silver, maybe even years, and you don't want to lose your rank and start all over again. Which, by the way, will happen if you keep playing like this. Future Pox here. Do you think Fortnite got ruined? I'm posting bloopers now, so if you want to see more of this, become a member and you'll get to see raw Pox. Extra early too. Did you know that if you go to Wendy's and show them that you're subscribed to me, you'll get 12 Happy Meals for the price of one Whopper? Seriously though, did Season 10 ruin Fortnite? Join now. So how about you just do all of us a favor and just make a decision? Literally any decision will get you more kills and wins. If you lose, analyze the match and learn from the experience. And if you win, analyze what you did right, improve on it, and do it again. So we analyze what you should do. Now let's break down what you shouldn't do. Stop maining operators. Some of you have a single operator that you play, and this goes for all of you, by the way, not just the silvers. You're not a copper, and we both know you're good with other ops as well. So switch it up a little, get out of your comfort zone, and expand your skill base. What if the enemy chooses an operator that you don't know how to counter? And even if you do, you lack the experience and knowledge to actually pull it off. You know who doesn't lack any of those things? My boys in gold. A gold rank! You finally did it! Now's the time to take a seat, relax, because a champion's about to tell you that you're still ass. You think that beating the worst players in the game makes you good? Did you ever stop to think that maybe this whole time you've unintentionally been developing bad habits that are going to actually stagnate you and keep you stuck in gold for the rest of your life? Oh, you think the strategy you used before in silver and bronze is gonna work here now? In gold? Against gold players? Actually, some of them will. So what's your biggest flaw? What do you improve on? Details. Don't believe me? Think I'm giving you a general tip that can be applied to everyone in any rank? I mean, kinda, but seriously though, when was the last time you watched a match replay? And I'm not talking about rewatching your kills and glazing yourself. Oh, I'm so good. I'm talking about watching your opponent's POV as they clap your cheeks in that match where you got 4-0'd. When was the last time you even watched a kill cam? Yeah. That's what I thought. As soon as you start paying attention to the details, you're gonna start noticing that your crosshair placement can be better. Your timing was off. You had bad positioning. You're holding a bad angle. You might even pick up a trick or two from other players. Oh, and here's a bonus tip for everyone. And yes, that includes people that are blacklisted from Burger King. The better knowledge you have of power positions, the better your win rate is going to be. Look at the map Clubhouse, but more specifically, the rafters hold on a CCTV defense. When playing here, you'll have a huge advantage on anyone entering in garage, but you can still contest all of the entrances into the bomb site at the same time. And if you know what you're doing, not only are you going to rack up the kills, stop the attackers, and potentially win the entire game, but you're also gonna be really hard to kill. Every map has a power position that you can use to gain an instant advantage at any point in the match. And a little news flash, there's more than one on every map, and there's multiple ways you can play them. Honestly, I feel like I could make a whole separate video on how underrated and slept on these power positions are, and actually, should I do that? Should I make that video? Let me know in the comments down below. Paying attention to the details, analyzing the match, learning the power positions are exactly what you need to do to get out of gold. It's also the main difference between golds and platinums. Platinums have a good understanding of most maps. They have a strong skill set, an even stronger sense of the game, and honestly, their aim and mechanics are pretty comparable to champions. So why are you still stuck in plat then? Is it your team? Is it lag? No, it's your ego. Everyone knows that plats have the biggest and most fragile egos of all the Rainbow Six players. Yes. That includes you. You thought gold players were bad? Plats are on another level. Literally. I'm gonna tell you something, and just for half a second, just pretend that you don't have an ego so that you actually hear the next few words. You are not stuck in plat because of your teammates. You're stuck there because you can't play as a team player. Now is the time to start working on that. And while you're at it, stop team killing. Come on. You know what you should really stop doing? Pretending that my Discord doesn't exist. Just join it already, man. I've been waiting on you for weeks. Do you even care about me? No? Fair, but you should still join it. You know what else you should do? Direct takes. They are the best way to win while solo queue. This is a bonus tip for everyone, not just the plats. Think about it. You can break into site easier and safer. Not only are you going to rack up kills doing this, but you're also going to help your team gain control in other areas of the map. Your distraction on site forces those defenders to come back to help, freeing up other areas of the map for your team. This, by the way, is one of the easiest ways to get to Emerald. By the time you get to this rank, you'll immediately realize that baiting for kills, hiding in corners, and everything else that I've talked about up until now is useless. You're actually a good player. Did you like that little compliment? I hope you also realize that you're playing against much better players now. I'm talking about diamonds, champions, and your little tricks that worked before aren't gonna work here. Sure, you'll still get kills, but you won't rank up, and trust me, you will lose. And I bet you'll still be sitting here blaming your teammates. Let me guess. They didn't get their frags. For some reason, playing aggressive, dictating the pace of the round, and not running into traps with zero info never crossed your mind. Why not learn power positions or do direct takes? Better yet, why not work your way through the map one room at a time, slowly suffocating the defense? Maybe don't play passive when you have a two-man deficit and instead grow the balls to actually make a play. You see, I kind of forgot to mention that the higher you climb in the ranks, the more things you need to keep track of at once. But one thing is for sure, stop baiting. And feel free to disagree with this bonus tip, but wall denial is overrated. Remember, it's not your only option when it comes to strategy. I feel like a lot of these middle ranked players get so focused in on wall denial that they forget that there's other options available or don't even realize it. If the attackers are consistently opening the wall even when you bring wall denial, just switch off of it and bring utility that's actually going to help once that wall has been opened. Then instead of peeking the breach and getting dunked on, just sit back, relax, and force them to walk straight into your setup. Now, you might think that getting from diamond to champion is one of the hardest challenges in the game. In reality, all you have to do is ask yourself one question. What are they doing that I'm not? I've got the answers for you. Okay, I got you. And I say answers because it all boils down to two things: mechanics and utility. Champions destroy utility before pushing, but they also know how to counter a bandit trick. Champions use C4s to stop a plant, but they also land the shots that matter. So what does this mean for you? Well, if the problem is your aim, then all you gotta do is take that diamond ass to the shooting range and start practicing consistently. If your aim is great already, then the problem is your utility usage. Your utility should act like a barrier of information. Your eyes and ears. These are your guidelines that keep you pointed in the right direction. So when you do throw a flashbang at someone, go for the kill right away. Push off the utility. No, seriously, like, what are you waiting for? A wedding invitation? You're diamond. Nobody actually likes you. But you know what everyone likes? My charms. My charm. You know, I heard if you get my charm, you actually instantly become a champion. I mean, that's what I heard. I don't know. If you charm the subscribe button over on Twitch, you'll instantly get a 12 KD and a 12-inch. Again, I don't know. That's what I heard. I don't know. By the way, congratulations. You can finally pat yourself on the back and call yourself a Rainbow Six champion. Just remember that I'm still better than you. This is not me stroking my ego, by the way. Well, it is, but becoming a champion is actually a lot easier than it used to be. With the introduction of Rank 2.0, you can rank up just by beating lower ranked players. You don't actually have to beat champions to become a champion. Because of this, a major skill discrepancy has taken place within the community. All of a sudden, getting to champion is just a matter of time. I'm willing to admit that us champion players are by no means the perfect specimens of Rainbow Six Siege, especially the newer ones. Nowadays, your skill level kind of becomes irrelevant, and it all boils down to one thing: teamwork. Ugh. It doesn't really matter how good you are. If the enemy's teamwork is better, you will lose. So focus on working with your team. Remember, you're all champions. Everyone can clutch, everyone can bait, and absolutely everyone can do the same things that you can. So focus on working with your team, because I'm tired of you ruining the game for all of us.